This place is full of love. You can tell the people that like to be with old people because they really take care of you good and are very kind.
Twice a day, every day, activities people have an organized activity that's always interesting.
Everybody loves to play bingo. We play it 3 times a week here. We also have ceramics that you can paint. Really pleasant to live here. It's a good place to be.
No, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
He needs to make sure he's following through with getting the paperwork done, is what your concern is, right?
I just don't need to, I don't feel it's this board to keep stacking up those accounts that are waiting for reimbursements, and then all of a sudden we get some nice little note from the federal government saying, oh, by the way, we dosed that, and those are gone. Or, yeah.
Oh, conversation. Anything else on Gilbert? Yeah. 1005, 24/7 sobriety program, line item, inmate air conditioner replacement. Jail medical. Gilbert. Jason.
He's doing a fine
I Gilbert on my mind.
So I'm sure you guys, I made a copy of that. Just kind of a brief overlay for the medical portion anyways. So the 24/7 program, the money that is collected, we send off to the state. The state takes their 25% and we get 75% back into the program to purchase the equipment to fund the program.
Mr. Chairman, will you give us an idea what the program is?
So basically, let's say you get a DUI.
Let's say I don't.
And the court has many options, but this program is one where twice a day you'll come in, you'll do a breath test. As long as you do follow the guidelines of the program, then the court can modify your sentence. Well, it is a modification of your sentence. And in lieu of jail or potentially even go on your record, if you complete this program, then you get the blessing of the court and you're free to go.
So I read it, and it's in legalese, and so I was asleep about the third page.
I'm surprised you got to the third page.
Well, I might have cheated, but, so what's the cost it's obviously to the consumer or the defendant.
Correct.
Right? So there seems to be there's some money in here somewhere, but what's the cost and how long, and, I mean,
So
a judge does this, right?
yeah, so for the department, there's zero cost.
Okay.
All the equipment and everything was given to us by the state, by the Attorney General's office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the computers, the laptops, the breath machines, all that. They gave us a kind of a starter pack of tubes that you gotta blow into. From that's where this program is self-funded, where there's a one-time fee to be in the program, and then you're charged a total of $4 a day to participate in this program. And then that money that's collected at the end of the month, I send to Cheyenne, and they take their 25%, they give me my 75 to purchase straws if the laptop goes down, to purchase a new laptop. Now granted, we're not like Gillette, we don't have 800 people on the program, so however many people they have on the program is what is funded through that program. So what I'm asking for is, I need a line item, so when the state reimburses me that 75%, it goes into that program and that program only. I can't use it for anything else other than equipment, replacing straws.
So he'll bring the money over to us, and it'll go to the state. They'll take their 25% out, and then it'll come in as an ACH, and Susie will let us know, and then it'll go back into that money. And so then he can spend it out of his budget. Kind of like the inmate thing, Dan is gonna explain to you guys how that.
Yeah.
So that, so the 24/7 program, there's multiple aspects of that program. So, South Dakota does it, and they have a statute portion where we've been doing it throughout the counties that have been voluntarily doing it. There's more than just the alcohol portion of it. We're just doing the alcohol portion of it because that's the easiest to implement, and they're working out some of the drug portion of it because there is a drug screening portion that they can do. We're not doing that currently right now, and that would help. And that brings in for the testing and sending it off to labs. So their 25% is administrative portion from the state. So it's paying for all the equipment to get you set up, and that they're running the software program. The rest of it is for us, our supplies, if we go into that drug portion of it for the drug testing and everything else, for our operational costs on that portion. So right now we're just doing alcohol. We're basically working all that out. That's the easiest one to do. That's the easiest one to implement. And then that 75% will help when we expand, and if we expand into that screening portion. They also can be used through probation parole. They can sanction a person into that 24/7 for parts of their probationary period. It's just a pretty big, helpful tool for everybody to make sure that people are abiding by their sobriety portions that the courts are implementing or probation is, and it puts them into accountability. And it's had a pretty good success rate with everything, and that's all we just need is that. So that item is strictly set for that program, and it can't get touched from other portions.
So did we just remove this out of the budget? Is that what happened?
It was never in the budget.
So how did you do it for the last 2 years?
We have not we just started it.
So, but it was signed, oh, so you signed on the November 2024 and haven't implemented it yet?
We implemented, I believe it was March 1st or sometime in March, and we didn't get our first person until June.
Okay.
So,
We're dependent upon the court and the judges and sending that into there.
Okay.
So it took a while to get everything set up. And then people trained.
Are these ours?
So,
Oh.
you want to hear Susie about this with her? What's next?
what you want to do?
Let's do that. Let's not do the medical
I
yet.
was gonna say HVAC would probably be
Let's do
the
the
easiest, well, the next.
Did the HVAC fail or something?
Yeah, so That, so I think, I'm gonna lie to you here, I think we got a total of 9 for that building. And they're all as old as this one is, so this one is probably about our worst one. We've been, over the years, just replacing parts, and we've been fortunate enough, that we've kept it afloat, but I'd probably say this year, we probably had them there, once or twice a month, and it's replacing the same few parts over and over again. So, this last time, when it went down, he just got it up and running again, but his basic consent was that it's to the point where he just, one, it's not financially feasible for us to be just fixing these parts over and over. I was gonna have that cost for you, but I didn't get that done as far as,
The work you've done.
yeah.
Some of it's part of the river.
Summit, I believe it was, so. So I got two estimates. One is from Summit and one is from 21 Electric. I got those kind of late, so.
Becky gave it to us.
So those are the two estimates that I got.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, here.
It's, I think I'm assuming the dollar amount is probably covering everything that they say that it does, but we are having a terrible time itemizing these bids. I mean, this is what interestingly enough, they almost look identical, like they've got the same information from both companies with a quantity of one and a total dollar amount, and we have nothing broke down. Like, whatever they use, it would be easier to expose how they came up with this number than to expose this bid, because they're gonna have to figure out, not only the labors, but the materials and how much of all of that needs to be. It's, our bid check sheet was not even considered on either of these, but not really on anything since then either. So I'm trying to figure out how we can encourage, because I don't want to, again, like what we were talking with the fairgrounds, we don't want to discourage, we don't want everybody to not want to do any work for the county, because of a process that's impossible, but we do need itemized bids for sure.
One thing 21 did was at least show a warning.
I did see that.
They did show their warranty.
You almost had in your child. That was in here, and the ones that I gave you.
I know, but I didn't get one.
No, just this morning.
I didn't get one. I have it here if I have it. I didn't get one. Oh, no. Yep, I did. I apologize. Yes, I did. Got put under the donut plate.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I didn't want to sidetrack us. Hopefully we did not. Sidetrack us to what we're doing, right? So we're talking about the process of the bid rather than the bid itself, so just wanted to get that in.
Oh, I got one. She did give me one. I just tucked it away underneath the Y dot thing. When we toured it, do you remember the sheriff saying how Dan Blakeman went through and had all he really chased down the HVAC system, and so that was 6-7 years ago. So are we replacing something that we did 6-7 years ago?
best way to know the world is to read your local paper. And I'm going to give you another hint, being a paper boy. When you get your local paper, like my mom used to do, put the front section away and go to the metro section. That's where all the great dirt is. So you read the metro section, and you will start to become so much smarter than the kids that are just academically debating, right? It'll be common sense and street smarts.
Really quick, last question. We got to welcome Secretary Nome.
So yeah, Kristi Noem was the next guest to take the stage there. But boy, again, I mean, none other than President Donald Trump is committed to a printed newspaper. I mean, as fan clubs go, I'll take that one in the whole modern political landscape. Donald Trump, Megyn Kelly, Steve Bannon, and Charlie Kirk, at least in Wyoming, I guess. Those are some pretty powerful names supporting printed newspapers.
These ones haven't been replaced since I've been there. I've been there 8 years.
So what did Dan do? Dan, not you, Dan.
That I couldn't tell you.
I can tell you those HVAC and furnace systems have been there since before I got there, and I've been here 15 years. So they're getting close to their end of service life and serviceability of it, certain portions of it, and that one unit, I've had conversations with the repair individual that said you're gonna need to look at replacing that one because they can't much fix anything else that's going wrong with it by repair parts without replacing the whole unit. And unfortunately, it looks like at one point we did all those units throughout the whole building around the same time. So if we're starting to get failures in one or two here, it probably is something that we're gonna need to start looking at future-wise of having that problem. I think the newest unit's done, the outdoor unit on top of the gym for the air conditioning unit out there. I don't know if that was the unit that was changed and fixed at that point 7 years or so ago.
And like Dan said, I without saying 100%, I'd probably say that would probably be the one. Because that is the newest. And that was within the last 5 years.
Okay, and all the ductwork was cleaned out too, I remember that.
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins, was this given to them and then they just gave it back to you?
No, I just kind of checked it off as what.
And then you showed this to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's running currently, Phil?
It is.
Until that comment.
And the close phrase, this is the worst of the ones we've had so far. I got another section that's last year quit heating in the wintertime. We had to do some things that, yeah, so.
Just looking down through the one from Federal Electric, it does set it above the other one that we got, just because we've at least got like a make of the furnace model, we've got a model number. To look at the bottom, it's got a 10-year compressor and parts warranty, and it's also the cheaper of the two bids. Like, that looks amazing. Now this one could be offering twice the unit or maybe twice the warranty. And then that price would look pretty good. But when we don't have the information to be able to compare them to, it makes it very difficult to make a wise decision on a replacement unit or even accepting any bids. We don't know.
Can, I mean, what if we were to go
to Summit and ask for a little more detailed description of what they're providing and maybe approach it at the next meeting. If that would be okay with the board. Is there any other thing as far as that checklist? Can you do that, Jason? Get a
You just want him to get a more detailed description? Okay.
yeah, what kind of unit, what brand,
Warranty
would be great. So.
Okay. I can do that.
All right, let's do medical, I guess.
So the medical, right now with, I think through August, right now, I think my total was $4,723.36. With the $2,000 budget, that leaves me asking for $2,723.36 just to break even. In there, like I said, that goes back to some of our previous conversations with some of the medical. Again, I haven't heard back from Michael as far as ways we can try to get money back. I think we did mention collections at one meeting. From our perspective, we do in their inmate account, I do take roughly 60% if they do have money. So take it for what it's worth. They leave with a negative balance. If they ever come back, that negative balance follows them. Now, if you don't have money or never have money coming in, we'll never get that money back. Some of the issue is some businesses obviously require money up front for services. Some places we have it billed to the inmate itself, which is fortunate for us. So it's those cases that require payment up front. I don't know the answer. Medical is kind of a touchy subject with the state and localities. Part of our issue is we don't have any medical staff, so anything that you come to me with, to me, it's a headache. But you go take them to the hospital, and they want CAT scans and MRIs, and now we're $3,000-4,000 to the county. So I know, and I just throw this out there, I know over the years we've approached and we've discussed hiring some type of part-time medical person to do sick calls and things like that. I don't know if that's something we want to visit again. I don't know if that'll save us money in the end from doing ER trips and things like that. We have twice a week medical sick call where we have a medical person there to kind of be that buffer, because right now it's taken to the ER. So, or the clinic if it's during the day, but as you know, most things are Friday after business hours. So.
A question for Jason on the medical side, because I've moved up with the Title 25s and stuff, and I'm not, is the jail medical, is it a wide open door? I mean, I don't know if there's anything that can be, or does everything go when it comes to jail medical? Just a scenario for you, say if I know I need some medical attention, right? and I'm part of the community, and I have no insurance, but it's easy to get arrested. I'm gonna go out and get arrested and say that I need some medical treatment. Is there any type of stepping stone, or is it a wide open door?
So I'll answer it this way. I had a lawyer tell me, you're not a medical profession, so why are you saying it's just a headache? And it's true, I don't know. He could have an aneurysm, I don't know. So what's the next best case? Take him to the hospital or the clinic. Yes, do we have people that use that to their advantage? 100%.
I wonder if our Blue Cross Blue Shield program offers some sort of telehealth that we could figure out with our inmates instead of necessarily an ER visit.
At one time, we've discussed those in the past. Telehealth, like I said, part-time, full-time.
I'm sure it is, but I'm sure there's companies that do it though.
That's what I would say is that you probably end up buying a subscription of time, some type of a telehealth. Excuse me. And I'm not too sure that's not a bad idea in and of that, you know, to avoid something. There's gotta be something out there. I mean, they're out there. Maybe we should go look and see if there's a company that and see what their charge would be. Even if it was Monument or whoever, you know. Explore that.
Would that be something that would work? Do you feel like if we had a Zoom call doctor for you?
I think it would alleviate some of that. Again, and as you know, it's all about the attorneys and lawsuits.
God bless them.
I know, and I mean,
So like the maxillofacial, somebody had a dental issue.
so again, the way it's defined, let me see if I can find it here. Serious healthcare needs. We have to make sure that we are looking out for serious healthcare needs. Now, as a lawyer, define that for me.
So is a knee examination a serious?
That's where that attorney says, are you a doctor? Do you know if it's serious or not? And I told him, absolutely not. So I'll take him to the doctor.
Yeah, sorry.
So, I'll just come up this way, that way it's a little easier. I don't think that telehealth option would be a bad route to go to look to for, such as to help eliminate some of those clinical, you know, like I have a headache or whatever, so they can get basically a doctor call on that call. So we're not doing that portion of it. Their pre-existing conditions, that is something that we can always look at too, because they came in, they already had it. They can be responsible for those costs. We still have to treat it, because if it's a serious medical issue, do have to get them health care. Somebody comes in with a heart issue, they run out of meds or something like that, they need to go see a doctor. I mean, if they aren't treated for their continuing health or their heart problems, they have a heart attack, we have a
Duty to care.
so we've neglected that portion of it. So if we can do something such as the telehealth portion of it, I think that would eliminate some of the portions of it. The other ones, when they get injured or there's a fight and something happens and they're claiming that they have a knee injury or something from that within the facility, unfortunately, we're on the hook for that portion to get evaluated and stuff. So if they did have some major thing, we are unfortunately on the hook for that care, what is established when they're in our care. They came in with it beforehand,
they're technically responsible, but they don't have money. I mean, a lot of it, so just like, I have a medical condition, I'm gonna get arrested, it's easy to get arrested. Now I say, now I have this, I have to be treated for it, so we have to treat it, but we're looking at trying to recoup some of that from an individual. Then you get into the blood on the turnip farm.
So with the telehealth, I would think that we could establish preconditions in a record type situation.
Some of it we can, and some of it we can't until they go get, such as one person was claiming a knee injury after they got MRI and everything else. It was pre-existing condition. We didn't know that. There was no way of knowing until after the doctor has stated that it was something pre-existing.
But I even think in a telehealth, they would ask certain questions.
They would, at a point. But some of that internal, a Zoom call, telehealth, you're not gonna know that until they run all their tests and labs, just like going to the hospital. It seems like really I'm running a battery of tests for what, and then because they're trying to eliminate everything to make sure, unfortunately, it costs a lot.
But again, the catch is like you said, even if it's pre-existing, you still have a duty to care and look back to what you said, Gary.
I have a question I had also was and I appreciate the safe zone that you're planning because you're not a medical caregiver or whatever, and so you're not overstepping, and I appreciate that as on the county side of it. Is there do we have a standardized checklist, kind of like what you were talking about?
So when they get booked in, there's medical questions that we ask. Now, we can only mark down, tell us.
Right. There's a medical questionnaire.
Yeah.
Before anyone ever comes in, there's a medical questionnaire. We don't have medical staff, so we can't do a medical screening. So we can't do that, so.
But I think if you had telehealth, you could.
I don't know. That's something that we'd have to reach out and see if that would be unavailable.
Can you do a little investigatory work on that and see if there's what companies are out there and what they might provide?
Okay.
Maybe we can,
What other sheriff's office maybe?
Yeah.
Type system.
A lot of places have some sort of a contract with a medical facility or on-call doctor or something they call. So they have contracts. But telehealth and some of that stuff is something that changes all the time.
Becky just brought up a good point that Honor Camp, right, has medical staff. I wonder if they would consider.
They are, I believe they're contracted through a private, different medical facility that does that contracting and hires their own staff. And it's not the state of Wyoming. So they pay some other company that does correctional type healthcare or medical. And then maybe they get shipped down to the hospital. So. The ambulance is going up and down the highway all the time.
Until then, you're still in need of 27, 23, 36, correct?
That'll put you at zero. So I guess, I don't know if you guys would entertain the idea of put a little more in and we just do this however often we need to do it, or I don't know how you guys wanna.
That's the issue, we do a budget adjustment every 2 months.
What I was gonna say is, could you go back 5 years? I know it's different all the time.
Average over 5 years. We can, I know last year we spent 11,000. I think the year before was probably another large one. I think there was somewhere at 7,500. We're probably about almost 10,000, but we can pull. Right?
1 year we were over 20,000.
Becky, pull that up.
Yes.
I think that would, Mr. Chairman, I think that would be appropriate, and we just do a one-time with the understanding that's not one of those lines that you get to steal from. Yeah,
That-
don't be winking, I've seen
That is strictly, that is something that you don't want to go into, because these are always so much fun to come back to you guys all the time, like, hey.
It's just fun to do.
I'll wait till the next meeting until we have, and then do it next, have something. Why don't you find the average, have it prepared, and we can approve it. You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, the inmate money. Explain to me how that, what happens when somebody shows up, hands you $50 and says, this is for Nathan Todd? What do you do with that $50?
That $50 goes into their commissary account. So it goes into the inmate's account, so that they can spend that on data, so they can make phone calls, commissary items, food items, medical costs for the medication.
Are you passing that $50 over to Susie and handing it to her and she's?
No, it goes into an account, into a checking account, that is the inmate account.
So how did we end up
We have a
with
problem then.
$3,000 of inmate money in our budget?
In our budget, because it used to go in there and you guys used to take it all the time, which you couldn't do. So it used to go into that checking account, and then that checking account got a road check, and then you guys took it and never gave it back. And you can't.
You wrote a check to the county?
Yeah. And then the county took it. And then you guys deposited your general fund, and we can't do that.
When did we do that?
It's been years ago.
Really?
It's been a long time ago, and since that was a continued issue, we don't write a check to the county anymore. It is held in that checking account, and it's gone through, and it is the money.
There's a bookkeeping nightmare here.
So,
There's a bookkeeping nightmare.
so,
So if you have a checking account that has a balance in it,
yeah,
but we have it on our books,
you don't have that.
we just put it on there.
No, that is two separate things. That is also the grant stuff. We have not touched that as inmate programs. That is not accounted.
So how does it get removed from our,
From that amount?
you write a voucher?
Yes, it will come out of that voucher. So that is strictly for an inmate program.
Okay.
So we just quit using that line item. So we eliminated these issue where the money would disappear, and we're like, hey, we have to get it back. So that has just sat there so we need something for the inmate program.
Okay. We're trying to grasp the bookkeeping of it.
Yep,
So if you're cutting a check,
we don't cut the check.
you're allowing the county to cut a check.
For an inmate program, if we come out of that line item.
But this isn't the commissary.
This is the commissary.
Two separate things.
Two separate things. Two separate accounts, two separate things. This was an inmate program account. This was basically from our old phone system, the secure system. They would send us in that amount that they would get us. We could get a check back from them for a portion of it, of what they spent. We get it back, we put it in that account. You guys have started taking that, and that's why we quit going with that route, and it just goes straight to the commissary account. So we don't touch, they're two separate accounts. So we don't vouch, if we're gonna pull out of that inmate account, programs account.
Yeah, what are you gonna pull out of it?
It has to be something for the inmates.
So what do you mean, something for the inmates?
So if I need to get GED books, if I need to get AA, alcohol, drug books, any inmate program, type stuff. So, I can get you a printout.
Because this money originally came
Came from the inmates. So it came from the inmates, the county didn't put any money into it, it is the inmates' money, and it has to go back to the
Really should
inmates.
have it in the first place,
So,
right?
This is interesting.
So, and that is the reason why their commissary money and that money that they spend has to go to inmate stuff, not to anything in the county. Not to-
So it's like a reserve account,
This-
essentially.
So your commissary money, is it going into a coffee can?
No, it goes into the bank across the street.
A
Checking account.
different checking
Ledger.
account or the inmate account?
It is a inmate.
So you have two
Commissary
checking
account.
accounts?
No.
We have a checking account at the bank for the inmate account. Then we voucher the inmate program.
So, we purchased inmate commissary goods from Woody's, and that comes out, and from order that. All that stuff comes out of that inmate commissary. They're self-funding.
Yes.
They're self-funding their own account. Their food items that they're buying, they self-fund that. The program account was from, in the past, from Securus with the phone system. It was basically almost like a dividend. It was a check that they gave us back for the cost of that, which had to be used strictly for inmate programs. So it went into that line item. So that would be vouchered in for AA or any program strictly for the inmates. So if they had their law library portions, which now is electronic and that's included in something else. So that's where that money would come from, that voucher. Are we just confusing?
Is Paul aware of the inmate money?
Yes, he audits that checking account every year. Yes.
But is he aware of the account that we have?
So the money that you're getting, so I want all these notebooks, okay? Or like I did today, I wanted donuts, so therefore, I'm gonna buy donuts, I'm gonna give you the money. So you take that $25, and you walk over to the bank and deposit in the bank, and have it registered at $25. But the county of Weston has no idea that $25 just went into that account. Am I right?
We have our ledger book. For state statute.
Everything is,
But what we have on the line item is different than what the total account is in that checking.
because it's not the county's money.
Exactly.
That's not the county's money. The county didn't put any money in it. It's not the county's money.
Okay, so can you see from our side that when that becomes a coffee can, we can't, no, we don't know that. And I mean, that would be the discussion we'll have with Paul. It's just, it's an auditing thing that we have to know that it's okay.
Yeah, he audits it every year, so by all means, talk to him.
Okay, that's the first we've ever heard of it. And I've been on the commission 12 years prior. I'd like to know when we took it away.
Huh?
Find out when we took it away.
Okay, I know
And
it was.
why. I'll go look at it.
It was during the budget, they'd write it, you'd only give them back, like, I forget how much, it was like a grain of soda, and you take the inmate account, which you can't. So there was a continued issue, and eliminated that fight for that program, just kind of like that line item thing, it's like, it's not the county's money.
Well, with all due respect, I don't have a great memory, but it's not bad. I don't remember a single word.
Well, it may have been before you were in there.
Maybe the one time.
It was.
Before me.
Well, I got you by years.
So, it was, while I was here, because I do remember that.
Interesting, that's just not coming up.
Thanks for the info on it.
Thank you. Probably give me a third time.
No, but like I said, it is audited, so there is that comfort in knowing that he does audit it every year.
Okay.
There is.
That's it, good to know.
That's not a random. Okay.
I'm not saying we necessarily work, I mean, because we have,
Yeah.
we got in trouble for them.
A donut for you, a donut for me.
Yeah, we get a little gunshot, part of the pun.
Yeah.
Well, I understand the commissary
I do too.
That's not our money, and it's going in and out, it's kind of like the fair board, having a checking account to do their operations, should be kosher. But that $3,000 or whatever, that doesn't sit right with me, that we're sitting there holding on some money that's not ours.
But we don't know who it is.
That's the part we have to figure out.
Okay. So, yeah, that's, I don't know, just, it's there, and if we have a program that we can use it for, I mean, we just don't usually use it that much.
We'll get it worked out.
Thanks, good.
Yep. Can I give you something real quick? Sorry, I know.
It's a good news or bad news, Chris?
I asked for numbers from the dog.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yep. Yep. Sorry.
What's a free?
What's a free air sniff?
What's a free air sniff?
So a free air sniff would be if, say, Lieutenant Jenkins had a traffic stop, and he was out with somebody, and I pull up on his, and I get my dog out, and I run around the vehicle. That's a free air sniff. Or if I'm just in that area, and I just run my dog out.
Okay.
So, that's the quickest, down and dirtiest way I can explain that.
Just because.
So any drug addictions?
Huh?
Any drug addictions?
It's all interdiction work. Free air sniff would be
Interdiction
work. Yep.
Okay.
And drug search. Those are, he's getting out and doing more. So then there's, these are the different categories. Assault with weapon, drug searches, free air sniffs, lost missing persons. He's also assisted other counties throughout the state with searches for people.
So what kind of time frame would this be?
That one's from
Oh, year.
8/6/24 to 8/6/25. That's this last year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just like that, we're waiting on that.
Sorry about that.
No, no, your fault.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Christie or Aaron, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Aaron.
Perfect. Extension, well, I guess Erin Hershey with the Extension Office. So we'll kind of start with just the all extension update. So Vicki did the caregiving conference with the hospital on August 7th, and I think that was a really successful day. We don't really have much of a time to catch up with that because I left right after for State Fair. She does have the Wyoming walks coming up, so Old Town Upton will be on September 6th. And then the Downtown History Walk with Lucas Keeler will be on September 21st. And those flyers should be out on our Facebook page and around town. I haven't caught up on all of that yet. Food preservation, Vicki's going to do a 2-day canning camp in Newcastle on August 27th and 28th. And she's going to go to Jackson and work with Mary on some canning workshops on September 3rd and 4th. And then her cooking classes for the fall get started September 18th. So there's those. Other than fair,
I was on the associate director hiring committee, for UW Extension and the Platte County Extension hiring committee for their new 4-H educator, all in the month of July. And then looking forward, we're looking towards the Northeast Region meeting, which will happen on September 11th. So Vicki will also be going that day. The end of the 4-H year comes up on September 30th, which it just seems crazy that this year's already wrapping up. And then we're in the works of planning the Northeast Region Leader Summit. So we're going to do a volunteer and a youth tract on October 18th in Buffalo. So other than just normal, that's kind of what's going on there. Christy helped with all the county fair stuff, is a big part of the Take 5 professional development. So each month they do a professional development and then updates from the extension that affect our admin side of things, and then just things kind of down the pipeline, which is really nice. And then pesticide testing, they updated all those regulations the 1st of May, so getting all of that stuff transitioned into our office and still doing a lot of pesticide training testing this summer. And then JJ Lip just completed his 450-hour internship on Saturday at State Fair. So throughout the summer, he did a ton of 4-H support, which was amazing to expand the capacity of what we were able to cover, just having that second person in the office. And then he was also the market manager for the farmers market in Newcastle. So a fun way to mesh him into another aspect and really utilize him throughout the community. So the big news, kind of extension-wide, and for our Sensible Nutrition program, the one big beautiful bill that was signed into law in July ended all SNAP Ed funding. So with that, effective September 30th, SNAP Ed and CNP is going to look very different in the state of Wyoming. So Wyoming received, it was like $2.8 million worth of SNAP Ed funding and $280,000 of FNEP. So CNP is now going to shift to this regional model using the FNEP funding. As of right now, they've opened to hire in these, all internal, to these 7 areas. And unfortunately, with funding constraints, there's 5 of us counties that are not covered. We end up in that gray area. We will have access to some of the Zoom, like online classes if there's some interest, but we will not have an educator assigned to our area currently. And a lot of this continues to change over the last, since July 8th or 9th, whenever they signed that bill into. So a lot there. So that's just the update there, that as of September 30th, we'll no longer have a CNP educator for Weston County, which is a loss, because we have a lot of the low income that fit into that benefit. So I'm hoping as they kind of stabilize their funding and look at some other options, Weston County will be covered, but there's the update for that. So, 4-H highlights. State shoot, we have 11 of our 4-Hers go to Douglas and compete over those 4 days. And our kids did phenomenal. So I just listed our top 5 finishes, and we actually had quite a few that then placed also in the top 10. And I just didn't have time this morning to dig all the way down through that, but like Samuel Ferguson was first in senior class 3D and target, second in senior 22, and fifth in senior muzzle loader. Tanner Leonard was third in intermediate 3D and first in intermediate class D target. Trevin White was first in senior shotgun handicap. Tevin was third in senior shotgun handicap, fourth in senior outdoor skills, and the Raton trip qualifier. So that's they take 12 from the whole state, and they get to go down to the Whittington Center at Raton, New Mexico, and do some really cool things down there. So that trip, I believe, is the middle to end of September. McKinley Hepker from here in Upton was first in junior muzzleloader, and then Taylor Leonardson, Ava Malsom, and Lincoln Hyman combined to be the 3rd place junior team in Class C archery, which was really cool. Then in July, we had a lot of project learning, just all the various projects still working. Something new that we did this year was we had a rabbit tattoo workshop, and Alicia Redding came and tattooed all the rabbits, because for them to show, they have to have a permanent tattoo. So that was a really cool learning experience for all the kids to get to see how those tattoos were applied. And then just other various workshops. So county fair, and I put on just some snapshots of things that I grabbed of even just that week, of the impact that county fair has on these kids that are involved in 4-H. It is just really cool. So Kendra's talks about what success looks like to you, and it's not always that purple ribbon. Maybe it is just getting your horse to trot and showmanship as the goal and walking away very successful. And the other little one of modeling at Fashion Review, the day we judged, she walked in and like just stared at the judge, didn't want to walk, didn't want to talk, didn't want to do anything. The night of the public fashion review, like, she rocked it. And her mom sent me a message the next morning and was like, I don't know what you did to my daughter, but she's a whole new person. So it's just really cool that looking beyond the ribbons that we give at County Fair and the belt buckles and the prize money, there's some really cool things that happen that week. And just the community engagement of the kids getting to share what they learn and are passionate about, and do so in such a really cool fashion. And then just the life skills that they're learning, and how to walk in and talk to somebody new, whether it's at static judging or fashion review or talking to a livestock judge. So after county fair, we turned around and went to state fair, and we took 16 youth that competed in livestock and fashion review and 198 static exhibits. And our kids did amazing. Jory Miller had the grand champion market lamb. Our kids placed very, very well in showmanship. I haven't compiled everything that they did, but our Facebook page has a lot of, as I was watching and getting updates from all the kids at State Fair. Weston County was very well represented. Our kids did amazing. So it's fun to get to see those really successes play out in real time. And then upcoming events, their 4-H story deadline is September 15th. So I'm really excited. That's what I'm going to be focusing on pretty hard for the next month, is getting those stories written, because they're a lot of fun and great to read, and then also share with everybody. Then we'll have our Cloverbud celebration on September 19th, and then we'll be ready to celebrate National 4-H Week, October 5th through the 11th, and kick off the new 4-H year, and then 4-H Jubilee. So we're going to kind of celebrate the end of the 4-H year, kick off the new 4-H year with a really fun event on that Saturday, the 11th. So that's kind of an extension in a nutshell for a lot of craziness over the last month and a half.
Yeah, I heard it went well, and I also heard that Weston County did great down today, so there was a lot of good show of people and products there, so appreciate it there.
Oh, so any questions about any of the extension stuff?
I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. A lot of hours, but it's a lot of fun. Seeing those kids thrive is just incredible. So, and we appreciate you guys coming out to fair and being a part of all of that. So, and yeah, as things change with CME, I'll keep everybody posted on what I learned. So. Okay, have a great rest of your day. How are you, Jeannie?
Nice to live.
Prevention management. They always have like flashbacks when it says prevention management, because I was the old fiscal agent that caused strife in my life. So, I don't want to make Peggy change that, but every once in a while I have one flashback.
Oh, yeah, it's 21 miles.
It's something it just, so I am behind, this is quarter 3, which is April, May, and June. So there's a phase, just pass those down. Anyone else wants one? So just real quick through the end of the school year, the Upton Sourcing and Strength peer leaders actually presented at the 3017 Challenge, which was in May.
So that's the event that highlights risky behaviors and tries to educate young people on making better choices. And I included more craft, Hewlett, Sundance, Lusk, Newcastle, and Upton. And right too, I believe right there. So that was cool for them. They just really focused on the strength-based piece and the positive pieces of reaching out for help and you know, checking on your friends, those kind of things for that session. We also did a really cool, it was a one-day photo shoot with Lou, who is still doing our marketing and media, or helping us, supporting us with that. So we spent the day kind of running all over the county. We did some here in Upton and some in Newcastle, just taking pictures and getting video clips and things like that of all of our community partners. And those are being highlighted on our social media pages. And then last year when I did our federal report, you know, of those, it literally is about a 26-hour report that we're required to do for the feds. And you always kind of wonder if they actually read what you put in there or not. And I actually got contacted by one of our federal grant managers and asked me to present during a webinar for new recipients. And it was all about how we were really connecting with partners and throughout the community and doing our quarterly networking events to reach those folks who, you know, don't make it to our coalition meetings. So that was pretty cool. And I just finished up that federal grant report again. And so I was a little bit more apt to, you know, willing to spend all the hours filling it out when I was like, okay, someone actually did read it last year. So that's always a plus. Some of our upcoming events are all on there. We have our Sources of Strength peer leader trainings scheduled for September. A national trainer will be coming in and doing those. We also have our coalition meeting, our monthly coalition meeting, which will be next month or next week at Public Health. And then the Problem Gambling Conference is coming up in Buffalo September 19th. And we did get a group of us together to start that process of putting the work group together. Unfortunately, our calendars have not all meshed yet for us to have even a Zoom meeting, but right now it's Chairman Todd, myself, Nick Trandle, and Leslie Heyman from Personal Frontiers that are a part of that group. And Nick and Brittany Nick and Leslie are both planning on going to the Problem Gambling Conference in September. So Becky, I'll be in touch with you and figure out how we need to do the financial part of that. But I think that will be really good for us from that perspective, just some education, to kind of hear what other counties are doing with that issue and with some of those funds, and to kind of get us kick-started for them to come back and bring that back to us. So the last thing I have is that two things. So we have an assist training coming up October 8th and 9th. And that will actually be here in Upton at the community center. And that's a 2-day training. It's a suicide intervention skills training. And it requires, and you have to just pass it down. So there's information on the front that has about the training. There's also, it's a 2-sided, so there's information on the back about that as well. That's open to anyone in the community to attend. Our grant pays for that, and so it's free. If you were to have to pay for it, it's like almost a $400 training, but we're able to offer it for free. We have 2 trainers coming in from out of town to do that. I'm actually a master trainer for Assist, but it works a whole lot better if I don't have to train in our own community. It just makes it it's a challenge to do that when you know all the people in the training. And so whenever I have the funding to bring the trainers in from out of town, I prefer to do that. It's easier for me and it's easier for the people that are involved in the training. But I would highly recommend anyone who's interested to sign up. We're going to try limit it to 15, and then we'll have a wait list. So there's the info on there. Or get a hold of me and I can get you signed up. The other thing I would say to you is if you're available on the 4th or the 10th of September,
and to come and check out our sources of strength trainings. Those are really pretty cool opportunities. We do a couple hours in the morning for our adult advisors, and then the rest of the day is focused on our young people. And so we have the availability to do that. It's pretty cool opportunities that we provide for our communities. And then the last thing, this kind of covers all of the things under tidbits. These are our new magnets. So it has a link to our QR code for our blog on there. We've had some really amazing blog posts from Nick Trandle did one on men's mental health, and then Tyler Bartlett just did one on back to school and kind of getting your kids in the groove. Public health, Angie did one on sun safety. There's just a little bit of everything on there, so that's on there. And then our newsletter QR code is also on there.